And please take your final seats. Good morning, Bronx Zoo explorers, and welcome aboard the wild Asia Monorail. My name is Scarlett, and I'll be your tour guide and driver today. Once we cross over the Bronx River, we're going to be transported to Asia as if by magic. And we're going to see animals from China to India, Cambodia to Nepal, and more. So for your safety, please remember to remain seated at all times with your hands and feet inside the train car. Parents and guardians, if you have a small child with you, like a toddler, I recommend you seat them on your lap, just so that they can see some of the animals better. Please keep in mind, all small children must be seated, and in the unlikely event of an emergency, you guys can contact me using the intercom, which is in the back of your train car on the left-hand side. So we're now entering the wilds of Asia, which is over 7,000 miles away. Those little guys that you'll find right here, some of them running around, take a look at how cool they look. These are called the black buck antelope. Most of these here are the females. Females have a yellow brownish coat, while males have a chocolatey brown coat, but they both have a white chest and a white belly. Males also have horns, so that does make them look a little different. And then I'm sure you guys are also interested in the peafowl. Males are called peacocks. They're the ones with the blue heads, and they have those large colorful feathers. Females are called peahens. The females look a little different. They don't have a blue head, but they have like a greenish neck. And they also don't have these large feathers. And then when the males and the females mate, they have pea chicks. So that's what the little babies are called, pea chicks. In this meadow, we usually have many other deer species, but it looks like we're going to see them in a few minutes. They're on the other side of this meadow. So let's just hear more from one of our zookeepers.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm part of the Wild Asia Keeper team. We call this area Kanha Meadow, where we care for about 40 Barasingha deer, 15 axis deer, 10 black buck, and a pair of muntjac. We start our day by checking on all the animals, making sure they are healthy, behaving normally, and safe. Sometimes, fawns and calves are born overnight. Newborns are given a neonatal exam, which includes weighing, vaccination, and tagging for identification purposes. While the animals are in the meadow, we prepare their nighttime holding areas so that they have a safe and clean place to spend the night.
Alright, in this next enclosure, we're going to be looking for the Mongolian wild horse. So just like us, it's actually their breakfast time. It's 10:30. So they're going to be over here at the top of this hill. It's called Breakfast Hill because that's where they like to eat. These horses enjoy eating hay, grass, leaves from trees, and fruits and vegetables like apples and carrots. So like I said, you're going to find the Mongolian wild horse here. They're also known as the Przewalski's horse. You're going to find that they do look a little different than the horses that we're used to seeing here in the United States. These horses have shorter legs and a stockier build. They also have an erect mane with a missing forelock, which is why it kind of looks like they have mohawks. And you guys are in for a treat today. I need you guys to take a look and see if you can spot the two baby horses that we have here in this family. These two babies were born just this year, so the biggest one, she was born in July, but then the smallest one, he was born in August. So we had a female baby and a male baby horse. These horses were once on the verge of extinction. So they were very close to no longer existing. They were actually completely extinct in nature at one point, so they were only found in zoos. They had very low population number. That's why it's very important for zoos to have successful breeding programs. So right here at the Bronx Zoo, we have had 52 horses born here with us. And this, luckily, has been found in many other zoos across the country. So now these horses are no longer on the verge of extinction. In this next enclosure, we're going to find the world's largest cattle. This animal is called a gaur. Think of the word power, but with a G, gaur. As you guys can see, it's a very large animal. A gaur can weigh up to 2,000 pounds, which is the approximate weight of a small car. And they can be up to 6 feet tall and 10 feet long. They are known to be so large and powerful that they can even take on a tiger. So you definitely don't want to mess with these guys. We also have 2 babies in this group here. So I see one of the calves right at the top of the hill, right by that log. So take a look. Like I said, we have 2 baby calves, so take a look if you can spot the other one. Unfortunately, the gaur species is vulnerable, and this is due to their loss of habitat. Their loss of habitat is due to an increase in farming. So let's hear more from another zookeeper who works with this group. Farmer.
Hi, I'm Dave. WCS works with me. The rhinos used.
Hi.
Farm.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator.
Hi, I'm Dave, a wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male gaur from the San Diego Zoo, it took a couple of introductions before all the animals were comfortable. But after a little bit of time, the 3 new animals fully integrated into the herd, and we have the family that you see today. A family group of gaur can consist of up to 40 individuals, and is typically led by an older adult female called the matriarch. Since the 2 females and 1 male have been added to this family, there have been a number of offspring. This is important because gaur are considered to be a vulnerable species, so it's vital to maintain a healthy growing herd here at the zoo.
So at this point, the strange noise that you hear right behind you, that's actually the Bronx River Parkway. And the fence that you'll find in front of you is used to block out the noise from that highway. For the animal that we have in this enclosure, we're going to be looking for a secretive and elusive animal. We're going to find our tiger here. You're going to see our tiger. He's actually walking inside of a bush. It might be a little difficult to spot right now, but he should be exiting the bush soon. Just take a look. Tigers can be very difficult to spot because their stripes help them provide excellent camouflage. And they also like to live alone, which is why there's only 1 tiger in this enclosure at a time. And I just need everyone to remain seated, please. Make sure your children are seated and not leaning on the railing. This tiger's name is Anakin. He's an amber tiger. We have 2 types of tigers here at the Bronx Zoo. We have amber tigers and Malayan tigers. Of the 2, the amber tiger is larger. As we know, tigers have a very large appetite. The tiger can eat up to 40 pounds of meat in one sitting, which is like going to McDonald's and eating 160 hamburgers all at once. But as we know, there's no McDonald's out there in the wild, so tigers stick to eating wild pigs and medium-sized deer. Unfortunately, tigers are endangered. This is due to their lack of prey, poachers, and habitat loss. So this is the back end of the gaur field. And we are now going to be approaching the back end of the first meadow where I mentioned deer. So take a look to the left. The ones with the very large antlers, those are known as the Barasinga deer. Barasinga in Hindi translates to 12 time. And they get this name because the male's antlers have up to 12 to 14 points on them. You're going to see more deer all the way in the back there. The spotted deer in this meadow is known as the axis deer. What's so cool about them is that they keep their spots forever, even in the winter time. You guys are going to find many different deer species here on the monorail today. And that is because Asia is the continent with the largest deer diversity. So in a few seconds, we're going to be approaching what looks like a bamboo forest. And in here live our babirussas. The babirussa basically looks like a pig with tusks coming out of their upper snout, but they aren't pink like pigs. So make sure you guys are looking down. You're going to find our babirussa there. That's Kenneth. He's right in front of the rock, eating hay. So like I said, that's Kenneth. And then over here we should have Linus by the tree back there. Let's take a look. He's all the way in the back by the tree. Babirussa translates to pig deer in the Malayan language. guys had trouble spotting our last animal, don't worry about it. If you guys look to the far right over there, you're gonna find our elephant back there. As you guys can see, our elephant still has some leftover pumpkin from Halloween. But all the way back there, you guys are gonna see our elephant. Just give it a few seconds. Get your cameras ready. Here at the Bronx Zoo, we only have Asian elephants, which are not as large as the African elephant. But an Asian elephant can weigh up to 10,000 pounds. So right there, I'd like to present everyone to Happy. Happy, like I said, she's an Asian elephant and she's about 52 years old. As you guys can see, 50 is the new 30 here at the Bronx Zoo because she looks amazing, doesn't she? She receives lots of attention here. She gets baths, pedicures, and that large tree stump that you guys may have noticed on the left, that's an elephant-sized back scratcher. Here at the Bronx Zoo, our elephants eat up to 200 pounds of hay, and they drink up to 60 gallons of water daily. As we leave our elephant behind, we're now looking for another large land mammal. We're gonna find our rhino. So this is my favorite part of the tour. This is actually my favorite rhino. So take a look, she's right over here in the mud wallow. Her name is Penny. Penny is an Indian rhino, which means she only has one horn. Some species of rhinos do have two, but like I said, Penny has one. I want everyone to take a look at her face. You're gonna notice she has some white spots there. Believe it or not, the skin on her face is so sensitive that the zookeepers put sunblock on her before she goes out in the morning. So she's just running around all day long with sunblock on. How cute is that? Those white spots are. For Halloween, we said she was dressed up as a ghost. If you guys want to know more about how our zookeepers put sunblock on a rhino, please watch episodes of The Zoo, which is on Animal Planet. There's an episode there with Penny, and they show you exactly how they put the sunblock on her. It's really, really cool. But believe it or not, all rhinos have very sensitive skin, like I mentioned. They don't all need sunblock, but they have their own way of protecting their skin. They like to sit, lay, and roll around in the mud wallow, which was that large pool that Penny was in. There's also going to be another mud wallow here. So the mud is basically just used to protect their skin from the sun and from bugs. Unfortunately, rhinos are endangered. Recent estimates show that there are about 2,700 rhinos out in the wild. That's why it's very important for zoos to have successful breeding programs, and rhino conservation is also very important. So let's hear more about that.
The rhinos you see here are Indian rhinos. We work with habitats all over the world that are homes to rhinos. Here is a note from our field office in Sumatra, and Wulan, who works with the Sumatran rhino. Sumatran rhinos are the smallest of the world's rhinos, and they are considered critically endangered.
My name is Wulan Pusparini, and I'm the Species Conservation Specialist for WCS Indonesia program. We carried out an island-wide survey of the last wild population of Sumatran rhinoceros in Indonesia. With so many unknowns on how to manage Sumatran rhinos in the wild or captivity, our studies showed definitively that we must protect them at source. The cost of doing nothing could be the extinction of the species, and I can't imagine that.
So, as I mentioned before, because Asia is the continent with the largest deer diversity, we're going to find many different deer here today. So that's what we're going to be looking for in this enclosure. We're going to be looking for one type of deer and one type of antelope. It looks like they might be on the other side. So once we get closer to them, I'll point them out to you, but for now I'm going to give you guys some of the facts about them. So the large deer that you guys are going to see in a few seconds, it's called the sambar deer. They are the largest deer species in southern Asia. They can weigh up to 650 pounds, and they can be up to 5 feet tall just standing at the shoulder. Their height helps them reach leaves from trees, which they enjoy eating. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to be looking for an antelope. Here we have the female Nilgai antelope. The females have a yellow-brownish coat. males have a bluish grayish coat. They have some pretty cool features that make them stand out. They have 2 white spots on their face, a white rump, and a black and white pattern at their feet, so it looks like they're wearing socks with sandals. So if you guys take a look over on the far right hand side, they're kind of together actually. They love to hang out together. So you're going to see them mixed in. So take a look. The ones with the dark brown coat, those are the sandbar deer. Then the ones with the lighter coat, those are the nilgai and aloe. And then once you pass this small fence, take a look at the corner over there. You're going to find 2 small deer called the Chinese tufted deer. So I see 2 to the left. These are actually the full-size adults. The most that they grow is 40 pounds. So they're really, really small. There's up to 5 in this meadow, so see if you guys can spot all 5 of them. So as I mentioned, there were 2 in the corner. What might help you spot them is that they have some white by their nose, some white by their ears, and a white tail. They usually raise their white tails to signal danger to the other deer. Well, I only saw 2. We're now going to be crossing over the Bronx River once again, and we'll be at the highest altitude of our tour, which is at 35 feet. So get your cameras ready. And as you guys can see, the Bronx River has many migrating birds, fishes, ducks, and turtles. So we're now going to be entering a rocky terrain. If you guys look down right over there, you're going to find a mountain goat on a tree stump. The ones with the corkscrew-like horns, meaning that their horns have those spirals to them, those are called the Markhors. The male's horns can be up to 5 feet long, while the female's horns are up to 2 feet long. Males have long, thick beards. Females also have beards. How cool is that? The female's beard is just a little shorter. So I believe the one that's right there by the tree eating hay, that's actually a female. And then there's one very close to us here, below us, that's a male. So take a look at how they look different. The reason why they live in this rocky area is because they have a special feature found at the bottom of their hooves. At the bottom of their feet, they have a rubbery cord. It's similar to what's found at the bottom of someone's rock climbing shoes. And it just helps them climb up on the rocks or even the tree stumps without slipping or falling. So we're going to be slowing down, and we're now going to be looking for the cutest thing on the monorail today. And no, it's not your tour guide. We're going to be looking for our red panda. So once you pass this giant tree that's shaped like a V, make sure you guys look down. You guys are going to see our red panda down here. Hopefully he doesn't go directly below us. But that is our red panda, Linus. He is a 10-year-old red panda, and he's a Gemini. The red panda is not actually related to pandas at all. They're more closely related to skunks, weasels, and raccoons. But they do like to eat bamboo just like a regular panda would. Those of you in the last few cars, make sure you guys are looking down. And then back here we have the Himalayan tar. These are also mountain goats, but take a look at their horns. They're curved going backwards, so they do look different. But they can also stand on rocks and tree stumps. We have many more red pandas here at the Bronx Zoo. They're over by the Himalayan highlands. You guys can also check out our snow leopard enclosure by the Himalayan highlands as well. It's about a 10-minute walk from here. From once you exit the monorail, it's about 10 minutes. Might be a little shorter. So just remember that the Bronx Zoo is the headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society. And we do have other parks here in New York City. We have the Queens Zoo, the Central Park Zoo, the Prospect Park Zoo, and the New York Aquarium, which is in Coney Island. So your visit here today and any future visits to any of these parks helps us to save wildlife all over the world. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining us here today. We are going to make a very brief stop. In a few seconds, a train just left the station directly ahead of us. So it should be about like a 10-second wait. So just remain seated, please, until the doors are opened up again. Alright guys, we're now heading to the platform, so please make sure you guys are all sitting down. Make sure your children are seated as well, please. Make sure all your children are sitting down. Before you guys exit the monorail car, please check your seats and make sure you have all your personal belongings with you. And watch your step as you exit. There will be a step up for those of you in the first row, and a step down for those of you in the second row. And on behalf of the Bronx Zoo, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out today. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day here at the beautiful Bronx Zoo. We will soon be making that final stop. Like I said, please just make sure you guys are all sitting down. And make sure your children are sitting down too. It's going to be about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I just